Hi there, what's up? Welcome back to Economics. I am Dr. Shreya Roy, and we are attending the class 2 for data analytics using STATA IC. So, as mentioned in my previous lecture, you can download the students' 7-day free trial version from the STATA official website. And for the notes, you can comment down below that you require Economics free floating STATA notes. And as this is the STATA 101 course of Economics, you can register to it even if you are watching it online and answer the examination and get a data analytics data certificate from Economics LLP. In case you do not know what Economics LLP is, Economics is an international research and data analytics company registered under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, MSME, Skill India, Startup India, all Government of India. And currently we are serving knowledge across 158 countries. So since it is the 101 course of STATA, hence trying to keep it extremely simple, every class I'll try to teach you 5 commands probably. And today's commands are going to be the essential basic commands that you need to know before you enter the proper research path. Okay, so I'll share my screen with you. The book for STATA IC will be written and published soon. So it has been written, it is with the editors, and the process is huge. So yes, the book will be launched by this year, most probably. So stay tuned. And if you need any further help, do write to us. And visit our website at www.economics.com. So I hope you can see my screen. And this is the software that I'm going to be using. So mine is an older version. It is STATA 13. We have STATA 14, 16, I believe 18. So do give it a look. However, the basic things are available in all the versions of the software. Okay. So I am going to be using the free installed example datasets. So in the last class, we learned how to use example datasets. I am going to be using auto.dta, and we can see all the variables have been listed over here. And next, we will begin with the log file and save it as class 2. Okay, and now let's enter into the commands. We had also learned clear in our last class. So if you want to remove the data, clear your software, we simply type clear and enter, and the variables will disappear. And if you want to bring back the variables, so simply click on the review command tab, click on the command you need and press enter. Sorry. Press enter. So you should get your variables back. So the first command for the day is describe. So we have to know that STATA is case sensitive. So if you write, so it will not take the command, it will not recognize it. However, if you write in small caps, it will recognize it. So make sure that you always type in small caps. On the other hand, if I say describe, so what does basically describe do? The command basically describes the data set you're using. Okay, so for example, it is saying that it has 74 observations. There are 12 variables. The size of the data set is 3,182. They are saying that make is a string variable, which means a text variable. Price, MPG, rep, 78, so on are integer variables. Okay, so basically float variables, or they are, numeric variables. And these are the short forms and these are the full forms of the variables. Another crucial thing about stata is, like, for example, the variable name should be one word together. For example, let's say gross domestic product or GDP, but you cannot write it as gross domestic product. You have to write it together without the space. Stata does not identify individual words as variable names, if I could make myself clear. See, for example, over here, make and model, you had to short form it to make. Mileage, it had to be converted to MPG. Here they had gear ratio, but since they could not use two separate words for one variable name, therefore what did they do? They used it as a hyphenated word, and therefore they used the two words together as one single variable name. Okay, so this is another very crucial thing about stata. Okay, so let's see. If you say that you want to describe only one variable, so if you say, I want to describe the entire data set, simply type describe and enter. If you say that I want to describe only one variable, then write describe, okay, and then select the variable you want. How to select a variable? You have the variables over here. In front of it, there is a forward arrow like so. Click on the forward arrow and your variable will be selected. Another important thing over here, as I mentioned, that stata is case sensitive. So in case the variable in your data list is listed as price with a small p, okay, and you write it as price with a capital P or just in caps, all caps, it will not recognize the variable. So I always suggest all my students to select it rather than typing it. Obviously, you can do describe space price and it will give you a result. But sometimes, when you're in a rush, when you're, very engrossed in your research, then you might make this mistake. You might think, you're working with GDP and you think, GDP should be all caps and you type GDP all caps, but probably your data set has it as small g, small d, small p, and you're making an error out there. So make sure to always select the variable from the variable tab, okay, window. So whatever you select, it will be displayed. So basic first command, describe. Second command is summarize. Okay. Another very important thing about stata is it understands abbreviations or short forms. For example, instead of writing describe, we can write simply DES and enter. It will still give me the same result. Okay. So case sensitive, understands short forms. Okay. So two things, and learn how to select a variable. Third very important thing. From here, you can see your data. So this is called the browse mode or data editor mode. So what is basically, you'll go over here, you'll find a data editor or you'll find a data editor browse. Okay, so that. Now let's take a look at summarize. So I am writing the short form and enter. So it is giving me a summary of the variables. Zero observations because it is a text variable, obviously. It cannot give you the central tendency or mean or, max for text variables. So for make, we have no observations. For price, there are 74 observations with a mean of 6,165, standard deviation of 2,949, minimum value of 3,291, and maximum value of 15,906. Similarly, we do see that there are the summary of the remaining variables. Please note, do you see over here rep has 69 observation? What does it mean? It means it has missing values. Let's quickly check. Browser, rep, and see over here there are dots. Wherever there are dots, it basically means that the value was either not reported or there was some biasness and hence it was deleted. So basically it's a missing value. You do not know what the history is behind it, but you just don't have the value. Okay, now that is about summary. Let's move to the third command, which is a count command. Not necessarily you need a count command, but it is a command you should know. So basically, what do we do? Okay, so basically count gives you the number of observation which you're anyways getting in the summary, you're getting it in the description. If you do nothing, you will also get in the properties tab. Okay. So I tried if there were other variations in which count could be used, but I believe it is not that important. Okay. So another very important thing which I want to teach you and should have been included in my class 1 lecture is how to use log and add on to an ongoing log. For example, there is class 2, which I had begun. Okay. So I want to add the further commands to class 2 itself and not create a new log file. So what will I do? I'll click on log, click on begin. I will select my class 2, click on save, and then I will get this pop-up. And here I will select append to existing file and click on OK. And thus my new thing which I am doing right now will be added to my class 2 saved files itself. Moving on, let's understand the next thing, its list. So list is another very important thing that is, circulating. So the purpose of list command displays the values of variables in a data set. So if I say list and then I select, let's say, foreign and enter. So what is it doing? It is listing the entire variable, all the 79 or 74, how many observations are there directly. So what do I do? List and select a variable name and then press on enter. So I get the entire list only here. So basically, you're not going back and referring directly to the data set again. And when you're using the list command, your entire data set can be viewed on your output table itself. So moving on to the fifth command of the class, which is a tabulate command. So you can obviously write the short form instead of tab and type tab and select a variable name and enter. I'm extremely sorry for that. So what am I getting? I am getting the frequency, I am getting the percentage, and I'm getting the cumulative frequency. And as we know from the basic 6-7 standard statistics that this should be equal to this. I hope we know how to calculate cumulative frequency. So basically 2.270 is written directly over here. The next percentage, which is 8.11, is added on to 2.70, and that's why we get 10.81. 10.81 plus 2.70 gives us 13.51 plus 5.41 gives us 18.92. 18.92 plus 5.41 gives us 24.32, and zigzag, 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 we end up to getting 100 at the bottom. I hope that was helpful in case you did not know. And if you knew, I hope that was like a brush up to you. So come on. We need to keep feeding our curious minds and we need to keep working out on our brains, you know. So yeah, fitness is important, whether physical or mental. All right. So that's all for this class. However, I would like to teach two important things. Okay. Extensive mode of this shall come later on, or probably I can do it today also. However, let's just take a look at two more commands. So I have taught you describe, summarize, count, list, tabulate, and clear. So you know 6 commands. The 7th command, which I want to teach you today, is to use keep. If, for example, I want to work only on price, MPG, Rep 78, head trunk, headroom, and trunk. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to work only with 5 variables and I don't want the remaining ones. So what do? I select the variables and enter. So what is happening? The remaining variables disappear. Now you just have the variables that you want to work with. So this is giving your data sheet a more cleaner and a more manageable look. Okay. The next thing that I want to teach is draw. Now, for example, okay, you wanted to keep these very good. Now, out of these, you realize that you no longer need Rep 78 because it is not serving your purpose. So what will you do? You will write drop and select Rep 78 and enter. Now, Rep 78 has dropped. Now, let's take individual variables. Let's go and take a look. So, this is my price list. Now, for example, your research says that you want to work with car manufacturing with, let's say, anything above 4,000. Okay, anything above 4,000. So what we will write? We'll write keep if price greater than 4,000 and enter. What do we see? 11 observations deleted. Okay, so basically anything below 4,000 was deleted. Okay, now let's say, just a second, no. So now let's say we want to do something. Okay, so now let's say you're saying 4,000 is fine, but again, I don't want to go above 10,000. So what we'll do? We'll write drop if prices greater than 10,000 and enter. So we see another 10 observations have been deleted. So the below mark or the lower mark is 4,000 and the ceiling was 10,000. So basically we do have 9,735, but all the 11,000, 13,000 have been deleted. So what do we see? That the observation has also reduced from 74 to 53. So there's that. So what did we learn? We learned log apprehend. We learned describe, we learned summarize, we learned list, we learned tabulate, we learned count, we learned keep, we learned keep if, we learned drop, we learned drop if, and what did we learn? Anything else? I think that's about it. So thank you for staying till the end. I hope you learned something new. If you did, like and follow for more such videos. And see you in the next class. Until then, bye.